What's up, everybody? We're back.
Yeah! Hey! Welcome back to the Metalhead's Journey. This is big day. This is the last episode here of what we are affectionately calling Mustainuary. We've been doing all Megadeth content here in the month of January. Just to recap you on some of the things that we've done. Hopefully you've been following along with the channel for the last year and a half. We set out on a true Metalhead's journey to determine what the greatest Megadeth song was of all time. We did 12 brackets of 16 songs to finally narrow that down to get that. The championship will be posted sometime this year, so stay tuned to that, okay? We also did a draft. We did a fun draft concept there where we tried to make 8-song records.
That is uploaded.
Off of Megadeth records. That is uploaded and available for you to look at now. And please go into there and rate the proper album accordingly. Okay, we need you to score the albums. Josh's album should be number 1.
No,
that's without a doubt. Hey, Jihad Joe, nobody's talking to you. All right. Now listen. Here we are. The final episode of Mustainuary. The reason why we were doing this is because Megadeth has just released their final record until Dave Mustaine runs out of money, and then they'll come back for the next one.
Let's not forget, we owe a big shout out to Dave himself for pushing this back until we're able to finish the bracket.
That's absolutely true. That's true. Yep. So Megadeth has officially announced their final record. They're doing a farewell tour. So we've listened to the new record. We're going to do a quick review. Listen, we've only listened to it. We're about a week in here, so we've only had a week to spend with it. So these are just going to be mostly initial thoughts, but we'll do our best to be professional and give some good criticism here. Before we get too deep into it, though, guys, I just wanted to take an opportunity to see what you guys might want to share here of this kind of 18-month-long journey we've been on here. So the impetus for the creation of the show, Metalhead's Journey, was really for us to go and discover these bands and these albums that we really didn't give a lot of credence to. And to be honest with you, Megadeth was really kind of the idea behind the creation of it. Because we were so when it originally started, especially with the Megadeth content, it was me, Dave, and Adrian. And it was really just centered around, we'd always been big Metallica fans. We never really give Megadeth any, credit at all. And so we thought, hey, let's listen to all the records and let's see what we've been missing out on. And we realized very quickly that we were incredibly stupid and that we missed out on decades of really great music. I still love to poke fun at Megadeth just because I can't stop doing it. But truly, this Metalhead's journey that we've been on has really opened my eyes to the quality of Megadeth and how much good music they really have. And now I've seen them live twice, and it's really been it's had an effect. So we added in Jason and Jonah here for the last year and a half when we started doing the brackets for Megadeth. So I just want to give everybody a chance to kind of close the book a little bit. What'd you learn? What's new for you? What did you take away from it?
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. I do think it's kind of funny because this is kind of a closing the circle moment for us as well, because again, we kind of, like you said, we started with Megadeth as the whole point. That's what started the metal channel it just was originally like an offshoot to what we were doing before. And now it's become our main thing. And now that Megadeth's last album is here, it's a little bit dang, this is it. The reason for the channel, and now it's over, right? At least from a studio album perspective. I'm sure they'll tour here and there and do some shows, but
our farewell tour is going to be 8 years long.
Yeah, probably. I mean, sure. As long as Dave can do it, right? But so I mean, 17 albums, I think, is what the grand total ended up being as far as original albums. And you realize that's an awful lot. There's a lot of really big bands that we like. Not all of us, but some of us really like that are really famous, but have only a handful of albums, just like System of a Down, which we were talking about before we started recording this. Only have like 5 albums. Tool only has like 5 albums. Mine and Adrian's like favorite death metal band, Death, only has like 7 albums, and it's like even Metallica, contemporaries to Megadeth, are like 10 or 11, something like that.
I think it's 10.
And so, Dave, whereas a lot of Megadeth's contemporaries really kind of slowed down a lot in their, golden years or elder years or whatever, Megadeth never really stopped churning out material pretty consistently.
Or Dave, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of makes a difference when the band is slightly a revolving door. But, I mean, you still got to give credit to where credit's due. I mean, he battled a hand injury. He's got throat cancer, constant random addictions here and there. And he's still able to put out, the band's been going for 40 years. They got 17 records. That's a pretty good ratio, I would think. So yeah, it's a weird but interesting moment for us, I think.
Yeah.
I'll
Jason,
jump in.
what are you taking away, man?
Whoops.
I never really listened to Megadeth. I was more on the Metallica side of things. I did slightly get into Megadeth during the Countdown to Extinction, but I looking back, I think that's the only album that I ever owned of theirs. I was trying to think back. I don't remember when I became aware that Mustaine was actually in Metallica. So I was never in that camp of one or the other because of the Dave Mustaine situation. Mine was just more of I'm poor. Metallica's better. I'm only going to buy their albums, and that's how that kind of went. Because I was looking back and I believe I actually had. I could be wrong, but I think I had Rust in Peace on cassette. So I
Nice.
think I might have listened to them prior, and based on the score that I gave Rust in Peace, the album, I think I like it a lot better now. So going through this journey, like there are quite a few songs that I really do like from Megadeth. They're definitely I wouldn't say like a guilty pleasure or anything like that. I would still say that Dave Mustaine's singing voice is still the most grating part of listening to Megadeth, but it also makes it quite unique. There is no other, but individual I think that could make Megadeth besides him.
Yeah. What would you say, like coming out of this? Like, I don't know if you could score your fandom. If 10 was like Die Hard, you're taking all the CDs to the grave with you. And one is Saint Anger, you're throwing it out the window. Like, where do you think you're landing these days?
Probably about a 7, solid 7.
Okay.
There's definitely I don't think there's a as much as this might ruffle your feathers, or Josh, I don't think there's a Saint Anger album in his catalog that I would throw out the window.
Well, yeah, because they haven't written anything as good as Saint Anger. I agree.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Rust in Peace is the closest, and I would still put Saint Anger over it. Adrian, you were wanting to go. What'd you got?
So just advice to anybody that wants to get into Megadeth like we did. I think I might have been like 35 when we decided to do that. So I've went through 35 years of my life. Well, realistically, let's call it 20 years of my life. Refusing to listen to Megadeth, right? For whatever stupid reason. And what a waste. I even had a dream of a career of being a guitarist without the influence of well, I mean, I guess kind of. I like some stuff he wrote. I just I just didn't really think of it that way, right? So anyway, the advice is, I think Megadeth in general, if just looking back at my original scores from when we did this, I feel like their songs, their albums, it's like grower shit. Like you kind of have
Big time.
to You got to let them sink in. You got to give them time, even time apart from each other. I think the longer you listen to them, or you kind of give yourself time to digest it all, the better they are. Even this newest album, not to give a spoiler, but I hated it the first time I listened to it, and I've pretty much just been jamming it um, uh, by itself. Like I haven't. It's the only thing I've been jamming, right? But I mean, I've kind of been forcing myself to. But I'm glad I did because there's like songs that it's like growing on me, right? And I think with more time, I'd probably actually really like it. So I think there's a lot of grower shit with Megadeth, and I do think his voice does take some getting used to. But at the same time, man, I can't picture that music without it. So yeah.
Yeah. Jonah, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to echo a lot of the same sentiments. One of the things that really stood out for me with Megadeth was that the songs did grow on me, and similar to Jason, I wasn't super familiar with their catalog. Like, of course, I knew all the really popular songs and all their hits and stuff from that perspective. But yeah, I wasn't super familiar with all their entire catalog, and going through this whole process with you guys with the brackets and stuff. I didn't do all the album reviews, but doing all the brackets and whatnot and hearing like each song kind of on its own definitely gave me a new perspective on Megadeth as a band, and of course as on Dave himself as a songwriter, and the way he writes riffs, the way he writes vocal melodies. Obviously, the subject matter of his songs, like he's definitely got a style, and I really came to appreciate it. He does kind of have a repeating themes in a lot of his songs, especially when it comes to things of like a political nature or interpersonal relationships and whatnot. And a lot of that really vibed with me. So I really enjoyed kind of hearing his voice and his take on metal and thrash and whatnot in general. So it was really cool. And yeah, just to kind of reiterate, it did grow on me, and I have the same, again, not to spoil it also, but I had kind of a similar experience with this latest album, listening to actually a whole album from them to review it and whatnot. I didn't hate it at first listen, but I have appreciated it more and more every time I listen to it. So,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to kind of wrap up by saying, it's been, I wasn't here for the beginning of it, but I, coming in when I did, doing the Metallica bracket and then turning around and doing the Megadeth bracket, because I am a lifelong Metallica fan as well. Like, I remember being a kid listening to, Black Album and like a lot of their live stuff. Yeah, but like a lot of their live stuff too, like jamming that stuff with my cousin and my brother, because my uncle is a big metalhead also, and he introduced us to a lot of that stuff when we were kids. So, lifelong Metallica fan, and now I think I can honestly say I'm definitely a Megadeth fan now as well.
I was going to piggyback on something that Jonah brought up. The content of his lyrical writing is very thematic through a lot of the albums, and I do think that because of the path that he went down, getting kicked out of Metallica, having to struggle, whether or not there's a big financial struggle or whatever he went through for a long period of time. He had to create a lot of content basically on his own, to get wherever he wanted to go. So he, in a weird regard to the content that he writes, I think he does a good job of connecting to the average Joe that might want this type of music as an outlet.
G.I. Joe.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah,
Average
exactly.
Joe.
Every G.I. Joe. Yes, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Well, awesome, dude. Hey, listen, I'm sorry if you tuned in for this video and you wanted to just hear this review. If hopefully you skipped 10 minutes in and you're here now. So
14 minutes in.
14 minutes in, pardon my arithmetic. Just wanted to take the opportunity to kind of close this loop out before we move on to some new content here coming up in the future. So we're here to talk about the new Megadeth record, which is also called Megadeth. We'll do a quick history of the band, a little bit of information about the album. We'll get right into it. So Megadeth, formed in 1983, is an American thrash metal band from Los Angeles, formed by Dave Mustaine. Dave Mustaine formed the group after his dismissal from a little band called Metallica. His dream was to create a band that was faster and heavier than Metallica. Mustaine has been the only consistent member of the band over the years. They've released 17 albums, including their latest album, Megadeth, released in 2026. They have 6 platinum records, 1 Grammy win, and have sold over 38 million records worldwide. Megadeth, released in 2026, is the band's 17th and final studio record. This album was produced by Dave Mustaine and Chris Rakestraw. The album was released just on January 23, 2026, Dave. It is Megadeth's only album with guitarist Teemu Mantasari and their first album since 2009's Endgame to feature bassist James Lomenzo.
Yeah.
All right.
Are we sure it isn't Timu Kikolario?
Dude, I was literally about to make that joke. I'm glad you jumped on it. Because that's what it feels like.
That's gold. That's gold, Adrian. I love it. I'll go first here. Being like the resident person that, really just irrationally hated Megadeth for so long. And I've already shared my thoughts about how I've kind of come around on them through the years. I like the record. I think this is I think this is a solid record to go out on. It's not the best record they've ever written. It's far from the worst record they've ever written. Metallica being my favorite band, I can only hope that Metallica, whenever they decide to call it a day, goes out on a high note and not like a 72 seasons, right? So I thought the album, I thought this album was pretty good. I think this album features probably the best riff ever written by Megadeth. So that's pretty cool to have your 17th and final record actually feature the best riff you've ever written. There's going to be some conversation today about the production of the record. I didn't have a problem with it. It's very guitar forward, as it should be, as music should be. There was some bass in it. I would probably take the Bix levels down a couple of notches.
Unlistenable.
But all in all, I don't think I get it. Like, I understand what the criticism is going to be, and I understand if that's what your opinion is going to be on it. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it took away much from the album for me. The only thing I would say was I think there was more. I mean, maybe this is my opinion alone. I think there's more skippers on this record than I think some of the other people on this channel would agree. But I think the highs are high for sure. So I think this is a worthy exit to Dave's career if that's what this eventually ends up being.
Let me pop in.
Go for it.
And I'm right there with you. I think it is at a minimum a worthy exit. I don't think there's I don't think there's anything spectacular or anything that's life changing in this record, but I think it's a more than serviceable record from a man who's 63 years old. I mean, it's pretty badass. I'm curious to know what your favorite riff is. Oh shit, yeah. I'm curious to know what that riff is, but you can say whenever you plan to, because I wonder if it's the same one that I'm thinking. But anyway, I think there's a lot of cool moments for sure. I think there's a lot of cool songs. I wish there was I was hoping there'd be like an epic, and they just didn't happen. There's just a bunch of kind of like balls to the wall songs on this album, and that's fine. I'll admit to me that some of them kind of blend in together. I feel like they all have kind of like the same personality, like each and every song. The last song, the song that it closes with, not Ride the Lightning. I think it's called The Last Note.
Yeah.
There is an acoustic guitar solo.
Yes.
Oh, you liked it?
I like that.
Hated it.
You talking about the last 30 seconds?
I just,
Yeah.
when I think of it, oh no. I'm talking about during the. It's like right before
Oh,
Oh,
electrical.
I thought you were talking about the ending, like the
Oh no,
outro.
the ending fucking rules. Yeah.
okay.
I just I hate that part. I just it doesn't sound good to me, and I think that just kind of goes with the production in general. I just think
Super
we can
thin.
sit here and talk about the lack of the lack of bass and all that shit all day. I mean, I still think overall the guitar sounded great, the drums sounded great, Dave sounded great, except for when he sounded like Weird Al on Ride the Lightning. But I just I said it was missing some foundation. Dave's like it sounds hollow, and I do think that. But and there's also parts to me like the acoustic guitar solo. It just doesn't sound good, and it's a perfectly fine solo, but I don't know. I wasn't a fan of how some of that was done. Overall, I think it's a solid album. I plan to have it on repeat just like I did the last one. It's cool. It's Megadeth. It's great. And I would recommend it for sure.
Um, I'll
Solid.
jump.
You
I'll
want me
jump
to
in.
jump
It is a
in so we
concept.
can have some back and forth? Because I already know you're gonna just poop all over this thing.
I mean, you didn't know that, but go ahead.
I mean, okay. So I think this is
We
a
know
very
Dave
solid
doesn't
album.
share. Dave doesn't share his real opinions on the
Ah,
show. He
yeah,
tries to
yeah,
stay
yeah.
positive.
I think this is a very solid album. Definitely worth being the bookend. I think there's a solid grouping of songs. I didn't have any problem with the production. Yes, I do think the bass levels were almost invisible, but I didn't have a problem with the production at all. The only song in which for me the production sounded like complete ass was in the final song, "Ride the Lightning" cover, which is I don't even consider it part of the album. For me, it's just a bonus track, so I'm not even going to grade it when we do the end. I'll never listen to that
Yep.
song again. I think it's a terrible rendition of a great song. But as far as the rest of the album, I mean, I thought it was solid. There's some good stuff in here. There's no song in here that's going to make my top 5 or top 10 Megadeth songs of all time. But I do think there is a cluster of solid songs. This is a very easy listen for me. I probably listened to this album 5 times just today,
Nice.
just while I was doing other things. And there's only 2 songs that I skip, and we'll get to that. But "Ride the Lightning" is one of them. And like I said,
Ride the Lightning doesn't count.
yeah, it doesn't count. So I only have one skipper. I enjoyed it.
I'll go. Yeah, man. I say this with respect to what you three guys have said. Adrian, you brought up that it's like this is a serviceable ending. It's like I feel like that's almost like giving this a participation trophy because Dave is 63 and he put a metal record out. Like this
is like if his career ended on "Sick to Dying in the Dead," it'd be a completely different conversation.
like this saying this is fine. Like I don't think any of us are going to listen to this record 3 months from now with any real consistency. There's no song on here that's like I really want to see that live. If you don't have that in your head, then I don't think any of these songs are memorable. I think this is kind of a wet fart to go on if I'm being completely honest with you. This record has gotten worse for me over time, not better. Adrian, I think you're 100% correct that this thing blends in with each other because yeah, there's like 2 or 3 songs about war. It almost feels like the reason why this record sounds directionless, and I hate it when bands do this, is they try to put out like a retrospective album where it's like, here is our band in a nutshell. But what ends up happening is you just kind of have a bunch of songs that thematically sound like Megadeth over the years, but it's like that doesn't really work when you're listening to a record all at once. It kind of just sounds like you have a bunch of songs that don't really like. As an example, you have "I Am War" and "Made to Kill." "Made to Kill" is just a better version of "I Am War." in terms of like what it's about. Now you could argue that like the music or whatever, that's all subjective, but like I feel like Made to Kill is a better song, and they're both kind of like war songs. But like it's also contradictory because Dave's saying in one song he's anti-war, but then another song he says he is war. I don't know. It just seems like Dave's kind of all over the place. I do think The Last Note is a good song. I think there are good moments on here, but I have a problem also with the production as well. It sounds like Death Magnetic production where it's just really flat, really hollow, emotionless. It sounds like Dave is doing this from a hospital bed. If I'm being real. In fact, some of the guitar work, not the solos, but some of the riff sounds like to me like almost like computer generated. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's how the production sounds. Like it sounds inauthentic. You go back to Dystopia, which is just 10 years ago, or I guess just. I mean, that's 2016, and that sounds infinitely better than this record. Like, I'm not even talking about just the riffs. I'm just talking about the production. Yeah,
The meat on them bones.
Yeah, like there are good songs on here, but like I don't want to hear these songs live if I go see Megadeth. I want to hear good songs. Like I don't want to waste a song on the set list.
When did the good songs start?
Like I don't want to waste a song on the set list for one of these. Like there's not a single song on here where I would sub in one of their good songs.
Like, I would take a couple of these well over like some of the songs off Rust and stuff like that for sure.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't at all. I don't know. I'm my score is probably not going to reflect how harsh I'm being. I'm just trying to like. I just want to point out some of the issues because like everybody else seems to be like kumbayaing and loving this record, which is fine. But like.
I don't think anybody has sat here and loving this record. I think all of us have a very measured response to what the record is.
I don't know.
I don't think anybody's come out and said, "Holy shit, dude, this is the next coming of fucking Rust in Peace."
I don't know.
Wait. Someone did say that actually, and it's this fucking dipshit right there. Well, I'm putting that Dave, just so y'all know.
Okay.
When did I say that?
Let's see.
He's got receipts.
Oh my god! Hey, Jonah, why don't you do this?
Is like Rust in Peace compared to here we go.
Compared to Sick the Dying and the Dead.
Gambit. It makes previous albums seem like Rust in Peace, which is true because Rust in Peace sucks.
Wow.
I had that backwards. This album is Rust in Peace in comparison to previous album.
Yeah. Sick the Dying and the Dead because that album's terrible. This album is not terrible. It's just this is not how I am putting myself like this feels like how 72 Seasons felt for me. Like,
are you gonna rate this in the middle of their career? Out of 17 albums, are you gonna rate this somewhere in the 8-ish slot?
I don't even know. I don't think so.
Jono, how you thinking, man?
I'd say my opinion is probably somewhere a mix between all of you. I'm not quite as harsh on it as Dave. I do think it has problems. I think we can all agree on that. Objectively, it's not great. However, I do recognize, and I am taking into account how old Dave is and, what he was trying to say with the album thematically. He's getting old. He's nearing the end of his life.
Did you know I was in Metallica?
Yeah, well, that's something that's a chip he's had on his shoulder his entire career. That's not going to go away now.
Do you think he did this shit version of this song just because?
No, I think
it almost feels like a troll. It almost feels like a troll, but we can talk about that later. No, but like I did think it was a solid final album. And say what you want about the music and the production and all that. It does feel like he's going out on his own terms, and I think that's that feels good. commendable. Yeah, it's his final kind of, his last will and testament, if you will. But I could, despite the fact that I've never been a huge fan of his vocals, I could at least feel the emotion of his through his singing here a little bit. And I'm a sucker for existentialism in any form, and it's pretty palpable on this album, like the existential dread and feeling death coming near and stuff like that. So thematically, I really enjoyed it.
Agree. I 100% agree with what Jonah just said. You can go on about the production of this, but it does feel like it hurts him to do this album.
Yeah, exactly.
It hurts me to listen to it.
It hurts Dave to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it's true. Like, I'm sure he doesn't want to stop, but he probably feels like he has to. Yeah. Because of his age and whatnot. And I get that. I felt it through the album. So, objectively, my scores is not going to be great probably, but I just wanted to, at least after Dave's tirade, appreciate what is here in the form that we got it in.
I think the thing to remember too, ultimately, is, no band out there is ending their career on their best record.
No,
like that.
Unless you die young, unless you die after your third or fourth album.
If Judas Priest hung it up today, I don't know, man. That's Invincible Shield was
true. That's true.
I mean, if Anthrax never puts out another record,
like Anthrax would be the one I go to. Like if Anthrax, if that last record just gets deleted off the face, not the last one they came out with, but the one that they've already recorded. If that one gets deleted off the face of the earth and never sees the light of day, that is the best album Anthrax has ever made, for sure. But that's like, that's it. Like, it's hard to make your last record. I mean, it's hard to make a finale for a show.
I mean, that's just the life of an artist, I think.
I am curious. I am curious, though. Like, I do wonder sometimes if artists, even in their prime, like, create a song and be like, nah, man, I'm going to save this song to the end. Like, this song is too good for right now. This is not
maybe if you have the foresight, but I don't think most people have that kind of foresight.
I'm just curious. Like, I'm just curious that sometimes.
I think most artists have to put the good stuff out now to make sure they stay relevant.
Exactly. Also, you do have to eat, so you do kind of want to make money.
I mean, he's got 17 other albums, so I mean.
But I think it's the nature of like rock bands or just bands in general. When you're at your peak, you feel invincible. You feel like it's never gonna end. Oh, and then you end up.
Look, he's lived 5 or 6 lifetimes.
For sure. He's done more in his lifetime than all 5 of us combined twice over, at least. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like,
look at him.
Oh, yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
Like, a hard 60.
That's a hard life.
He lived, man.
He lived full throttle.
But yeah, that's just the nature of artists in general. Like, you're gonna have a peak at some point, and assuming you don't die young or retire early or whatever, if you keep going until you can't go anymore, the last thing you do is probably not going to be that good. But at least, like I said, he's going out on his own terms, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
and it could have been worse.
Right, let's get to the elephant in the room here. So, for whatever reason, Dave Mustaine wanted to record a version of Ride the Lightning. Now, as we know, he does have writing credits for that song on the album. So, I would assume, I don't know what the ratio of writing credit is on that album versus anybody else, but he wanted to do this as some form of closure, I guess. So we're omitting Ride the Lightning from the album in terms of tracks and things like that, because it is listed as a bonus track, so it's not officially part of it. But the fact that we're all big Metallica fans, it would be disingenuous for us to skip over that without acknowledging its existence. And if you're a Megadeth fan, fast forward, because I think we're going to pretty much universally take a big fat shit on it.
Hey, look! I'll start. I'll start just because mine's the easiest to say. If anybody's listened to this channel, they all know my stance on doing covers. If you're going to do a cover, make it your own. Yeah. If it's just a 1-for-1 cover, I could care less. And that's how this is. And then couple that with as soon as he starts singing, like it might as well just be like a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. It's awful.
Now, in this case,
I would pay money to be able to unhear the original Ride the Lightning, just so I could try and like objectively listen to it. Right? Because I mean, we got 30 years of Hetfield burned in. Like I don't know, like I don't know if Steven or Daniel would be like a good tester on there. I don't know how many times they've heard the original Ride the Lightning, but maybe they could. Maybe they could be more objective. I didn't mean to cut you off, Dave. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I was gonna say when Jason said like do if you're doing a cover, make it your own. My argument was gonna be like this is his own, so like he is
Except, and this was my main takeaway from this cover, okay? Because yes, Jason, I agree with you in the fact that you should try to make it your own, or if you're going to do it note for note, at least like do it better or like higher production value or do something, any aspect of it better. But this was worse in every way. But the thing that really stuck out to me and what surprised me is that not only is it a 1-for-1 cover, they even did all the solos 1-for-1. Like you would think that Dave would want to do his own solo because he helped write the original riffs, probably. Yeah. Similar to like with like some of the other songs that are similar between the two bands. But no, like Dave presumably at some point learned and played Kirk's solos, and that just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
The prevailing information for this stuff that Dave wrote is that Kirk actually ended up playing Dave solos.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. So like he recreated Dave solos. So anything that was on Kill 'Em All and Ride, Kirk basically just doubled what was on that. So theoretically, those are actually Dave solos.
Yeah. And we're specifically talking about the songs where Mustaine has credits for. But yeah, almost all of Kill 'Em All, because Kirk got brought into the process so late.
Yeah.
Kirk basically just did the Mustaine solos with probably moderate, small changes to fit his own personal playing style, but they were generally Mustaine's solos.
Yeah.
But then you have songs like Four Horsemen where there's like an entire section.
Yeah, they changed.
So that's what makes me think like. I don't know. I guess we could analyze it back and forth all day. It just it surprises me. That's all that it was that 1-for-1.
I'd be quick on my thoughts on this, and I'd actually offer a positive twist. It was cool to hear like Ride the Lightning in modern times in terms of like modern production, and just getting to hear that. Like I enjoyed that aspect of it, and that's kind of where I had to go to it because, and I like Dave's vocals, but it's just so bad. It's so bad for the song when you've heard this song conservatively thousands of times in your lifetime.
Yeah.
And you've always heard it sang by James Hetfield, and now the first time you hear Dave Mustaine, and it's like it couldn't possibly be more disappointing.
Yeah. Actually, the fact that the version in my head is young James Hetfield, to hear this is wow.
I agree. The actual song,
but I appreciate the recreation of the song. I appreciate that part. Sure. And all that stuff.
Dave's vocals aside, I find it embarrassing that the literal last track of your last album that you're putting out is a Metallica song. Like, if I was a longtime Megadeth fan and Metallica hater, I imagine I would hate this. I hate it, and I'm not even like. I mean, like, I am a pretty big Megadeth fan at this point, but, like, I hate this for Dave and for the hardcore Megadeth fans, because it's like, it's your last album, and it makes it even worse when you have a song on the record right before called The Last Note, but then...
Which is so good.
But then another song comes on after what's supposed to be the last note, and it's not even your band's song. Like, I just find that embarrassing. I couldn't remove it from my Spotify quick enough after listening to it. Adrian, go for it.
Take us home and then give us your MVP for the record.
Yeah. So actually, this will be perfect. These go hand in hand, actually. Well, like I said, wasn't a fan of this cover at all. And his vocals wasn't even trying to be funny. He sounded like fucking Weird Al. As soon as he came in, guilty as charged. Like, dude, what are we doing, man? Though I think for me, the MVP of this album. Oh, so I didn't like it. The end. The MVP of this album to me uh, is the hype. Was the hype of this
Oh,
album coming out, and the
okay.
hype of me. I was so excited for Ride the Lightning to hear their version. By their version, I mean Dave's. I mean, look, it's his song, right? Maybe, and
Yeah.
he gets to use it or whatever. And I think maybe he needed closure. Maybe he thought he could do it better. And
Oh
it's really
no.
disappointing because I'd imagine there he had his own version of it, um, and that's what I was expecting. And it's their last album. I don't think it's fair to expect something like their best album, right? But there were just so many headcanon expectations that were not met. For example, I said there I was hoping there'd be like an epic, like a 7 or 8 minute epic song, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the hype is the MVP for me here. But I
All
also
right.
say I think one of my favorite parts too of this, if it counts, and we're gonna get to it anyways. I really, really love the cover of this album. I think
Mm.
I think it's fucking awesome. It
Yeah.
stands out to me against all their weird covers that they had in the 2000s, and I think it's a clean ass cover to go out on.
All right. I'll hop in here. MVP for me, and when you listen to Dave talk about how Metallica is his favorite band, but then all he does is just run them down and talk crap about them. I think one of the things that we, and I don't mean Dave Mustaine, I mean Dave on
Me.
this channel. Um, when we talk about like how
I wouldn't
Mustaine
be
continues to stay
surprised if Dave
relevant,
Mustaine's favorite band is Megadeth.
true. But how Mustaine continues to stay relevant is he's got a revolving door of musicians. He can really, I mean, he can really go and pick from the A crop of musicians out there to build a band if he wants to. Um, listen, and this is totally coping with how bad Metallica's last record was. Metallica's the original band members, right? They're all there. There's no young guys in the band anymore. And so that's just their writing process now is within those guys. So I'm going to go with Timu Mantasari here. I think the guitar playing on this record is very sharp, and I firmly believe that the better riffs on this record were probably supplied by him. So I'm gonna go with Timu. I think the shredding on this record is good.
I'm gonna go quick here. I'm gonna pick the drummer Dirk Verburen. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly. I probably did not. I do think the
The
drumming.
same drummer for the last album.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
I think Dirk is a great drummer. We saw him live when he played. When we saw him live, he was in the band. Dirk is a great drummer. I do think of the things like on the Ride the Lightning cover, I think Dirk is the highlight of that cover. Because everything else is kind of just whatever. But Dirk's playing is for the last couple of records have been very, very good, and they are very good on this record. I refuse to give an MVP to somebody named Timu. That just sounds so funny to me because of the Timu website.
It's not his fault.
I know it's
It's
not.
not his fault.
I know it's not. It just seems funny. But no, I mean, I think the guitar playing
His
is
parents are
absolutely.
looking for a cheap name.
I think he's worse than Kiko, personally.
I mean, is he worse than Kiko, or is the material worse?
Both.
I don't know. I mean, how can you compare the two?
Well, I think for me, the fact that there's a song called "Let There Be Shred" and it's not really very shred worthy, I think that automatically disqualifies him, in my opinion. So it's Dirk.
Okay. All right, Jonah, what you got?
Well,
I'm gonna go.
anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go Timu also. I think the guitar playing was the standout on this record as well. I don't really have much else to say other than that.
Look, I'm gonna give it to Dave Mustaine. Why?
There
Because
you go.
God only knows what it took for him personally to get through this
Because
album.
Jason didn't know any of the other members of the band.
I sure didn't. I couldn't tell you for the life of my children. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. All right, Jason, what you got for the album title and album cover ratings?
I'm going to agree with Adrian. I thought the cover is awesome. It stands out easily as one of their best covers.
I think it's their best.
Yeah, I love the clean look. It's got that that it's not exactly down the middle, but like part of it's just disintegrating away while the other part is fresh. I love the way the contrast looks. As far as the title, it is their only self-titled, album. So I'm going to be forgiving on it. I'm going to go ahead and give the cover a 9, and I'm going to give the title an 8 because it's their last one.
Nice.
All right. Jonah, what you got?
It's going to be double 10s from me. I think this was the best possible title and album cover for a final album, personally.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I'll go. I have the album cover as a 10 as well. I do think it's their best album cover for sure. And I did have the title high. I think I like the idea of going out on a self-titled record. And I don't know if we've ever talked about just like the quality of the name of the band, but Megadeth is just a very metal band name.
Yeah, and it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
I like the band name. I like the fact that it's the last record. I think it gets a bump on there. I'm going 9.2 on the album title.
Nice.
I'll pop in here really quick. I think it's a 10 for the cover for me. I love it. Again, it's my favorite part of this whole fucking album. Confession, I have no idea what any of these fucking songs are about. If I had to guess, Let There Be Shred is just kind of Dave Mustaine's like love for playing guitar. So
yeah,
I think
it
may be him doing all the solos. That's that. And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell you when it's him or when it's Temo Kiko. So I have no idea. But anyway,
Kiko.
Yeah, guys. So I don't know, man. When I think of an album that's self-titled, unfortunately, I think of Metallica, right? So when I think of what Megadeth's self-titled album should be, I think it's kind of more along the lines of Countdown to Extinction or Rust in Peace.
Like a good
This
record.
is their last album, and you're right, a good record. Yeah, it is cool to go out on a self-titled. I think it makes sense, but I don't know, man. I don't know this album deserves. And again, that's why I bring up I have no idea what this album's about. I don't know if this album deserves to be called Megadeth, just by the content that's on it. Not really representing them as a band as a whole.
Now, didn't Megadeth?
I'm giving it a 5.
Okay. Didn't Megadeth Did Megadeth have a song called Megadeth?
Surprisingly, no.
No,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Slayer had a song called Slayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Dave?
I went double nines on this, but I do 100% agree with Adrian. I do think that a self-titled album, again, it's like it is usually has to be some kind of all-encompassing kind of thing.
I don't know, but dude, there's lots of bands that their self-titled record
is their
was
first
not
record.
great. Kill Switch Engage, like when they finally did a self-titled record, not great. Korn, like I don't know. I feel like there's some bands that do it late in their career, and it's just not.
So this is on brand to that. Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm double nines. I like everything in theory, but yeah. So I'll give it double nines.
All right, Dave. What's your top tracks?
Let me pull it up just to make sure, because. All right. So, my number 3, is going to be Tipping Point. I do like that song. I think it's a very strong opener. You know, I don't want to deep dive too much into the lyrics, but I think the song is very good. I think it's a strong opener. And it was a good single when it was released. Number two and number one are very close because I think they are a step above the rest. I think number two is Made to Kill. I love that song. I think that song is very, very well made, and like it's close to being a song that I'd want to hear live.
It's just the worst version of I Am War.
No.
It's the other way around.
So you agree with me, Adrian, or are you just saying that because I said it earlier?
No. Like I'm correcting Jason. That's all.
And then my number one song, I guess this is going to end up being a hot take, maybe, but it's The Last Note. I think that is the best song on the record. I think that is the only real, like, kind of epic sort of song that Adrian was looking for. I think that is the song. Because it's the song that feels like it has the most invested in it in terms of songwriting. Like, it has the most differences. They introduced the acoustic guitar. Like, it actually feels like they're pulling out some bag of tricks. And I do like Dave's lyrics on it. More so than almost any other song. I think every other song is kind of just like generic, I'm Dave, angry at random thing. Whereas I really wish the whole album would have been similar to The Last Note in terms of like Dave being really introspective and reflective of his life. Now, Hey God is kind of almost there, but it's a little too tongue-in-cheek to really be like that. You know, so I wish they would have gone full in on like the subject matter of The Last Note, but it is what it is.
Go ahead, Jason.
I have a honorable mention. I have Puppet Parade. I don't even know why I actually like that song. It is just a little bit catchy for me. But I enjoyed it.
It's got a good chorus.
Yeah, it's catchy.
I like it.
But my top three, I have number 2 and 3 are tied on a score, so they can be interchangeable at any given time. And this goes back to what Jonah said earlier that I kind of elaborated on, in which Dave, in my opinion, does a good job of reaching out to the average Jihad Joe and connecting with the working men. And so my top 3 are indicative more of what I probably would have really loved when I was even younger. So my 2 and 3 are Another Bad Day and The Last Note. And then my number 1 song is the opener, Tipping Point.
I'll go ahead and go. So my honorable mention is going to be The Last Note. I think it's a cool song. I think it's a good song. I hate the acoustic part in the middle, but the acoustic part at the end's great. It is the one song where I'm actually paying attention to Dave singing, so I guess in that regard, it does feel like it's his most important performance. So I need to pay more attention to it, though. But I feel like he name drops a whole bunch of Metallica shit in that song. Am I tripping here?
I don't know. He's just going over his life.
Probably secretly does it, I think, through all the songs.
Got it. Okay, well, that's my honorable mention. Number 3 is Another Bad Day. I think it's a catchy song. I was singing it while I was walking around at work today. Whatever. Number 2 is going to be I Don't Care. It's a cheesy song.
More like I don't care about that song.
Damn. Got it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy it when it plays. And my number 1's going to be Made to Kill. I think that song fucking rules. It's like worthy of being on fucking Dystopia. And I'd love to hear it with Dystopia production and Chris Adler on the drums. Sorry, guy, whatever your name was.
Dirk.
Anyway, Dirk.
And Dave Ellefson on bass. I'd like to hear this album with bass. It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
So no honorable mention for me, but my number 3 is going to be "Hey God." Again, good old existential dread, and I like the chorus on that song. Number 2 is going to be "The Last Note" for basically all the same reasons Dave said. I really, really like that acoustic outro. I think it's really cool. And then my number 1 is going to be "Tipping Point." I think it's a really good opener, really good riffs, really heavy. Good solos, nice heavy bridge that kind of slows down a little bit. It's kind of, we kind of mentioned it before, or Dave mentioned it as kind of a negative, but that song is kind of like, it's one of those like, here's everything Megadeth is about, but in one song a little bit to me. So anyway, I think it's a really good song. So that's my number 1.
Nice. Yeah, Jonah, good call. I do have an honorable mention here. It is going to be "Tipping Point." Great intro to the record there. Number 2 and 3 are going to be probably humorous to you guys because you've made reference to these all night. But number 3, I have "I Am War," and number 2, I have "Made to Kill." Like they're both just good songs. I mean, it is what it is. And number 1 for me, I was not here for the reaction video to this. But dude, this is the greatest riff that Megadeth has ever written. And I don't understand like why there's no love for this song from you guys. Dude, "Let There Be Shred" fucking rules.
That's the same riff that I have as their best riff on the whole album, for sure.
Dude, that riff is so
dude,
good.
it's fucking sick. Oh yeah,
so good.
I do like
guitar
the
play
song.
on the record is good. I get it; it's a cheesy song. Like I understand that aspect to it, but listen, Dave.
It's my number 5 song.
Dave, I'm looking at you here. If Metallica wrote that song right now, you'd be fucking straight up midnight in your pants right now.
Well, it would sound really bad because Lars would be able to play it, so like it wouldn't sound.
That's true.
Anyway, dude, "Let There Be Shred," great song. So next section here, this is where we like to cut down these records. So we believe here on this channel that the perfect number for songs on a metal album is 8 tracks. And so what we like to do is take these albums and cut them down to the best 8 tracks. In this case, because Ride the Lightning is a bonus track, we're only looking at the top or the 10 tracks on the record. So we each have to cut 2 tracks here. I'll go first. I'll get the first one out of the way pretty quickly. "I Don't Care." Let's just get rid of it. Yeah, the second one, based on everybody's list here, is probably going to be controversial, but I think "The Last Note" is probably the biggest disappointment in the history of time.
Besides that take right there,
you're telling me
that's a Jason level take, Josh.
You're telling me that you wrote 17 records. And this is what you want to be the last thing that people hear. And to Adrian's point, and this is the point I've been waiting to make for this, is like you don't have like this long epic, like song. Like, dude, make it put everything you got into this. It's Dave doing the typical Dave bullshit spoken word over the laziest musical track you could fucking write. It's a dude just fucking open chugging a whole song. I couldn't be more disappointed in this.
Well,
the fact that it's the last track and the fact that he's labeling this the last note and it's supposed to be this meaningful thing. Get the fuck out of here. What a piece of shit. I couldn't cut this fast enough.
In Dave's defense, Josh, it isn't the last thing he wanted everyone to hear because that's why he put "Ride the Lightning" right after it.
Well, depending on which version of it, too. There's other albums out there that have other tracks that aren't "Ride the Lightning" as the last track. So.
Anyway, I'm just messing with you. I'll go next because mine are pretty close. I also have "I Don't Care." I think that song sucks. I think it's not good. And I was surprised to hear this on a couple of y'all's lists. "Another Bad Day" is just another bad Megadeth song. That song is terrible. That song,
I couldn't agree more, Dave.
That song is not good.
Song is so good.
It is catchy though.
It sucks. I think both of those songs, like, they're just like, we're goofy Megadeth. and like get that out of here. To Josh's point, like this is your last album. Like fucking like I get it. Y'all are like, Dave's fucking million years old and all that, but he can still play. And you got these you got Timu, you got Dirk Diggler, and you got fucking John Sclemenzo on there. I know these guys' names. I'm just
Do you really?
Yes, I do. I'm not you, Jason. You got these young guns. You got all the money in the world to hire a good producer, which you didn't do. You hired Chris Nutsack or whatever his name is to produce this record with you. What was his last name? Ratseller?
Rakestraw.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever.
Rakestraw.
Yeah, two nouns thrown together. Anyway, dude, put out does Megadeth even have an 8-minute long song? No,
Yeah,
I don't.
They do. I think they have one.
Do they?
How
They
long
have
is
some
Holy
long.
Wars?
They have some long stuff on "The World Needs a Hero."
Yikes! No one
It's
would
like
know.
those songs where there's where they have two titles are typically the long ones.
Oh, anyway,
Yeah.
anyway, I think those are the two easiest cuts in the history of time.
Sorry, what was your first cut? I
Word.
missed that.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Oh, I don't care. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you not care that he missed it, or was that your first cut?
that was
was
my
his first cut.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll go. Dave, I couldn't agree more. Another bad day. That song sucks. The riff is decent, but the song overall is just super weak. It's cheesy.
Yeah, it's
And
so bad.
I didn't enjoy it. My other cut is going to be actually Obey the Call. I just didn't vibe with that song at all. It didn't do anything for me.
Sure.
So that's getting cut for me.
That song's fine.
Cool. Obey the Call gets cut for me. I hate it. I think the last half of this album is really strong, but that's a stain on it for me. And then the other cut's going to be Hey God, By God.
Mm.
I actually like that song.
Yeah.
I like Hey God. It didn't make my top, but I like that song.
I'll tell you
Hey
what.
God would be-
I
Hey God
don't
would be
know
my
what it's
next
about. I don't know what it's about, right? But I mean, I'm sure it's. You were saying it's like some existential dread shit, and I'm sure I could vibe with it more if I cared to pay attention to the vocals and shit. But I just
Yeah, the vocals are not bad.
Time and everything I'm saying here tonight, I reserve the right to change my mind on it. By the way, because
Oh, yeah.
I tend to do that with all Megadeth shit. I tend to change my mind a lot. But yeah,
All right, so I'll finish this off. Yeah, I Don't Care was the easiest song on this album to skip every single time. I did listen to it one more time
I Don't
today,
Care?
and I made it about halfway through, and I skipped it.
it's like a 2-minute song.
It is the longest 2-minute song I've heard in my life. It's
Yeah,
right there with
3:10.
it's right there with Cement Truck or Police Truck.
That's a Police Truck is a cover, by the way.
He shouldn't have put it on there.
No, you should.
Anyway, past that, it's going to be Made to Kill. I don't hate Made to Kill.
What?
But if it's going to get cut, it's going to get cut.
That song's got a really cool drum intro.
Anyway,
Yeah. I love the just the transitions in that song. I think they're exciting. But yeah.
Everybody go?
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. I was just looking. So Megadeth has one song over 8 minutes. It's actually 9 minutes. And it's a song called Win.
Oh God, that's on.
WHEN. Oh yeah, never mind. That's a live version. I was gonna say Holy Wars, but that's a live version of it. Yeah. That's interesting. They only have one song that long. Maybe
Is that
it should have been
on,
expected.
Maybe
Is that
that's
on,
why you like him so much,
Risk?
Josh.
Like, dude, the
This
longest
on
song,
Risk.
the longest song on this record is the Ride the Lightning cover, which I feel like is just kind of
Yeah.
sad.
It's on The World Needs a Hero. All right. Hey, moving on to the last category here. This is where we like to give our score for the record and just give you some context to how we score these things. For a lot of folks out there, an average score would be for a 7. Well, for us, it's a 5. So anything that we score 4.9 and below, that's various levels of we would not recommend that record. 5 and above, various levels of we would recommend it. And anything between a 9 and a 10 is really going to be an all-time classic. As always here, I am attempting to to go in the order of who's going to get the lowest score possible for this record.
I think
Dave
we all
is
know.
throwing out those vibes, but I think I'm going to go Jonah first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll see. So I have a great appreciation for what was done here, but I do think objectively it's got issues. And I don't want to admit it, but Dave, you're right. I'm probably never going to listen to this album again. Or rather, I should say,
like, not on purpose.
It's not going to be in my regular rotation. Like, I'll remember that it exists and be like, oh, let me go back and listen to that, and I'll probably enjoy it. But I do also think that there's a strong possibility that I'm going to like it more as time goes on. It's going to age well for me. All that said, I ended up landing at a 6.5. I think it's solid.
You chose
but
poorly, Josh.
not their best work.
Damn it! Go ahead, Dave.
You didn't choose that poor. I said it. I said this in our chat, and I said it at the top of this. Basically, every day that I've sat with this album and had to listen to it, it's gotten worse for me. And I think the second day, I think I was somewhere in the low sevens, like between 7.5, and like I think I've just dropped a full point in the days since then. I'm at a 6.2. I think that is carried by there's like a solid like 6 songs on here that I would consider good. And then the rest are like I could never hear them again and be totally fine. Which, to Josh's point, if that's where you're at in your 60s and you've put out 40 years worth of albums and you're getting 6 songs that are good out of 10, I think that's a win. So 6.2 is where I'm at.
Yeah, this is I feel like we're all going to be real tight in this little spot right here, so it's hard to predict. I'm going to go ahead and go. I think me and Jason are probably going to be equal, and maybe Adrian edges us out. I don't know yet. I thought the album was fine. Like I said earlier, I think it's a good end of the career. There's plenty of worse records that Dave Mustaine has made that, like, if this had been the Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, I think this would have truly been a wet fart exit. This is at least a solid pass of gas. I'm gonna go 6.8.
Dang, I didn't realize we were all this close.
Yeah, Jason, what you got?
I think this is a solid album. I do think that "I Don't Care" is one of the worst songs that he's written, and I don't care. And the
That's going to end up being a live staple on this tour, I bet.
It does not.
Yeah,
does not exist in my world anymore, which means the other 9 songs, for the most part, are all quite solid for me. I can blow through this album pretty quick, and it's an easy listen for me. Like, I don't have any problems. I sit there and I bob my head through the songs, and then do the songs that I really do like that made my liked list. I will just hit repeat on it if I want to hit it again. So I came away with this enjoying it a little bit more each time I listen to it, and like kind of we've all acknowledged, it'll probably get a better score a year from now, 5 years from now. But right now I'm at a 7.2.
I think that's going to end up being the highest score. That's my prediction. I think Adrian will be lower.
I thought he was going to be sub 7. Adrian, go ahead.
Jason, the way you put it, I think it's perfect. This album is very easy to get through for me. I have 2 songs I erase. Like, honestly, they're not even bad songs. If I have to get rid of them, then those are the ones that would go. I don't think there's a skipper on this album either. I just don't think it's, at this point in time, I don't think there's something missing there. And we can go on and on about the same shit we've been talking about, but I guess ultimately there's some things that were not satisfied in my mind with this album that I wished were. My score is actually the lowest out of everybody's, and as you probably have would have, if y'all remember, I'm notoriously a dick on my scores. If 5 is average, to me, this is going to be a 5.
Wow.
Because that's what this album is. I said that one of the very first things that says it's serviceable, and yeah, I mean, I just will I listen to this in 3 years from now? Probably not. But am I going to still jam it for now? Yeah, I am. It's fine. But that's all it is. Yeah, to take out another thing that Jason says, it's perfectly fine.
Fine.
Absolutely fine.
Absolutely fine.
All right, Dave. What's that score?
Well, I did a boo-boo. Hold on. Give me a second.
Math is hard.
Yeah. Jason, what was your score?
7.2.
Jonah?
6.5.
Okay, and then Adrian's was a 5. Okay. Math is hard. 6.28. So yeah. That's basically what I scored it. I mean, it's right there with everybody's score.
When's the last time I gave the highest score for a metal album?
Oof.
I think it was I actually remember it's Slayer's last album. What was it called?
Redemption,
Maybe
Repentless.
Painkiller?
Repentless.
You're very close, Dave. Repentless. There it is. Yeah.
Did he have Painkiller the highest? I don't think he did because he didn't put it in the 9s.
Yeah, I think I was up there though.
Jason's highest score that he usually gives a non-Metallica album is 8.9.
Yeah.
Painkiller. I think I give Painkiller up to 9.
I think after the fact, like I think you retroactively adjusted it into the 9s because you listen to it like every week.
Great album.
A stupidly good album.
Well, hey, hope you guys like the video here. It's the last video we have here from January. We're closing the book here on Megadeth content for
forever.
It'll hopefully be a long time on the channel here. We'll see what comes down the pipe somewhere down the line. Either way, though, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're putting out weekly metal content right now. We got metal reactions, metal reviews, metal time machines, metal brackets, metal drafts, and all kinds of other cool stuff. And hey, in the meantime, live long and prosper.
Take it easy, everybody.
Later.
Peace. Sells.
Yeah, it does.